Well, hello. Welcome to another creative burst session. I'm Lynnie Marie from Inner Spring Studio, and I am so excited to step into some creative time with you this evening. I think you're going to really love our creative burst session this evening. We're going to do some watercolor flower blobs. And if that doesn't sound fun, I don't know what is. So come on and grab yourself a nice little cup of tea. It's probably a little too late for coffee. I have some herbal tea here and my favorite little china cup that was my grandma's. I always say if you want to play some soothing music and maybe light a candle or run a diffuser to create your own special little haven, and to honor yourself and your artistic spirit as we gather and enjoy making some art together. So as you're coming in, if you would be so kind as to write in the comments where you're joining me from. That would be awesome. I'm in some trouble with my streaming, getting onto IG. One woman show because I got to flick back and forth. But yes, if you could go ahead and let me know where you're joining me from. Hi, Alicia. Wonderful. Alicia's from Madison, Ohio, same as me. Beautiful day here. Susie Stevens from Madison. All right. Madison represent. Great to have you here. Well, yes, go ahead and gather your supplies and we will get started. So as you can see, here's one of the watercolor flower paintings that I did. It's just some very simple watercolor blobs in a color that you choose. There's no set palette here, just pick the colors that are speaking to you tonight. I'm using some gouache. These are Daler Rowney gouache. I love to paint in gouache. It's a little more intense pigment than watercolor, and you can actually work back into it once it's dry. Just add a little more water. It's got some forgiving properties that way. But I love gouache, and I've just put a few of the colors that I'm going to work in this evening onto a little plate. It's my palette. Move my tea out of the way. And I've got some brushes. This is a size 8 round. This one here. This is a 0. And don't worry, use whatever you have, okay? I'm just showing you in case you're curious. This is 3/4 inch. But I think I'm mostly going to be using this size. It's like a medium round. And I do have some art postcard size watercolor pieces of paper all prepared because this is the size I love to work in. To me, it's just a fun size, kind of like our Snickers candy bars, those fun size that you could eat the whole bag because it's so much fun. But these are fun size art postcards, and you can experiment, you can explore, and you don't have to get uptight, worried that you're gonna make a mistake, because if you don't like the direction you're going, you can just start over on another size just like it, and you won't feel like you're breaking the bank or wasting paper. Everybody loves a postcard, so if you end up liking it, you can frame it, or you can gift it to a friend or a loved one and share your art. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to work in a vertical format. So I'm just going to turn my paper this way. You can do horizontal. I'm going to go with vertical. And I'm going to just make some blobs. It's really no-brainer on a Thursday evening, which is kind of nice to not have too much to think about, or kind of get out of your head and relax a bit. So I'm going to come in and I'm randomly going to make some blobs. And you can go wet on wet or you dry on dry, however you want the paint to lay. It's really your choice. And just sort of lay down these blobs in any direction. And maybe just vary the size. It kind of makes it a little more interesting. But if you want them all big, go for it. If you want them all small, no worries. And I know that there are so many beautiful flowers already starting to bloom here in northeastern Ohio. I've been seeing tons of daffodils. Some of the tulip trees are starting to burst. All the trees have buds now. Even though we've had snow, spring is winning. Spring is winning. So there you go, some watercolor blobs. Now you can take the yellow and you can mix it with red, because yellow and red make orange, or if you have an orange, go for that. I kind of like to mix my color palette. I'll show you here. I don't want to reach across the camera. It's like playing Twister here. But okay, so I use this yellow to start. And then I had some red over here. So I'm just taking a little bit of the red and mixing it to get an orange. And I'm gonna let it just sort of smoosh and flow into my blobs. And you can add a little more water. So you get a gradient. Here we go. And then I'm going to wet my brush again, and I'm going to come in with just the red this time. And it just is so cool how it travels and does its own little thing and looks so pretty. I just love it. So cool. How's everybody doing? Now, you could, if you want, you could do one other fun technique is you can come back in with a paper towel or a napkin and you can blot just a little bit of the paint away. And great. So glad you're having fun, Alicia. Here we go. Just, you don't have to. It's just another cool technique. And you really can see the beauty of what happens when these colors integrate and smoosh together. quite lovely. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is this is a mixed media. So we're doing watercolor with ink. You could do colored pencil with the watercolor. You could do markers with the watercolor. If you've got pastel, just try some other form of media that you've got. If you want to stay with the watercolor alone, that's fine. I'm going to come in and hopefully this is dry enough now. If not, and if you feel like you need to, if you have a blow dryer, you can always run a blow dryer over the painting to speed up the process. But I think now that I dabbed away some of the pigment, it seems to be just fine. So I'm going to come back in and I'm going to start adding some leaves to my blobs. And then I'm going to fill them in. And this is the very meditative part, is coloring. Really chills you out to just fill in a little shape. It's quite soothing. Okay, so there's one. I always encourage you to breathe, keep your shoulders soft, keep your grip light. This is fun. Playing with color, letting your imagination soar. There's no rules. We just have some guidelines to kickstart our art, but you're welcome to explore with the shapes you're making. This is a very whimsical style, which I tend to really love. I like more impressionistic, fun, more carefree approaches to my art. I think I'm going to add some stems now. I'm going to lightly kind of place them initially, just sort of make a thin line. And have a look at what you have created so far. Maybe decide if you want to go in and make some leaves now, or you may want to create some other watercolor blob flowers. Just thicking up my stems a little bit. So I've been writing, I have a blog and I put the link in the chat if you want to check out my website. And my blog is on my website, it's Lynnie Marie Inner Spring Studio. And I have been writing this month, I wrote a couple blogs on gathering inspiration in real time. And it's just kind of fun to have a little field trip, maybe take a walk, take some photos of your surroundings to use as inspiration for your art. And the fun thing about that is, instead of, maybe finding a Google image, it's your own little treasure hunt. And it is a lot more inspiring, I feel. And it gives you a lot of resources everybody's got a phone, right? So you've always got some kind of reference that you can use if you're wondering, what should I draw or paint, or what do I want to sketch? You've got a nice little portfolio of images that you've gathered that spoke to you. It might be cracks in the sidewalk or bricks in a wall. I happen to have been more inspired by just all the cool winter-worn images that I came across in the park, dried up leaves and flowers, and they're all kind of crunchy, but they look very kind of antiqued almost. And took a bunch of flower pictures of all those, and I've been sketching in my sketchbook, and it's just a really cool way to embody your creativity, just have fun and look at your world through your creative lens and record it. I'm sure everybody's getting into the zone now. Doesn't take long, and it's such a wonderful way to end your day. Art is so therapeutic, it's so healing, and it's such a gift that we have. And it's really important for us to nurture our creative spirit and let it practice at least once a week. And as you can tell, it doesn't take a whole lot of time. We've been going maybe 15 minutes. I always like to point this out. And look at what you have experienced already. Color and line. And your mind is feeling more focused and centered and peaceful. All because you decided to tap into your creative inner springs. So at this point, you could even, maybe you want to incorporate a little bit of a background. You could do like a lovely watercolor wash and work maybe a vignette around your flowers. You could go back in, if you used an archival ink, it won't bleed if you go back over it with some watercolor. But the sky's the limit. There's so many options, and it's so much fun to play and kind of let your imagination be the director. You just never know where it's going to lead you. Okay, we'll try doing a little vignette background. So this time I will start with some wet on wet. Feel free at any time to put questions in the chat. Yeah, your paper may start to buckle a little bit because of the wet on wet, but you can just, when it dries, you can put a piece of tissue paper over your painting, and you can kind of press it in between a couple of big books. That'll flatten it out. And you can even pull up some of this paint with your napkin or paper towel. Makes it even more stipply. And another fun added motif could be to write maybe a word, an intention, a verse, a lyric that has come up as you've been creating, or now that you see the art you've made, it may be sparking a phrase or maybe reminding you of a verse, and you can incorporate that into your art this evening. Choices are yours. So you can kind of see with the vignette, without. It's really very lovely either way. And be sure to sign the art you've made. And remember, it is the first of many. Creativity is contagious. Catch the vibe. I always like to encourage you to share your art, inspire others, and be inspired. So we're about a minute away from the end of our creative burst session. Please feel free to ask me any questions in the comments before we say goodnight. And I do hope that you will go to my Facebook page and post your work, share it on my Facebook page under the Creative Burst for the week, and let's inspire each other in community. We learn in community, we heal in community, and we inspire one another in community. Don't be shy. We're all growing, we're all learning, and it's just a great journey. Never stop learning. Never stop growing. And I will put my Facebook link into the chat, so you will have that. And you can post your work if you like. There it is. Okay, you should be able to see it. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a beautiful weekend. I know a lot of us are going to be going on vacations. It's springtime. A lot of people are taking spring break. I know I'm a school teacher, special ed teacher, and the kids are all excited because tomorrow is their last day before break. I'm excited. I'm just like the kids. I love a good break. And I hope that you get out and enjoy. It's supposed to be a nice weekend here in Ohio. Wherever you're joining me from, thank you so very much. And I will see you in our next Creative Burst. Please check out my website, read the blog, and check out my membership. It's also linked in my website if you'd like to continue to be creative with me in a more community membership oriented way. I have a beautiful membership called Be Creative. So I look forward to seeing you guys again. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.